Hello gamers, do you want to fight for the God Emperor and for your goth mommies but don't know how? Then I got tips for you. Because as a Giga Chad with 400 plus hours in this game, I know a thing or two about how to get it done. So old and new players, listen up, because you might learn something you don't know, because the mechanics of Darktide go deep. So first off, let me teach you about the classes. Veteran. You're run-of-the-mill gun guy. You like shooting things or being very ammo hungry. You're the type of player that likes to play with a cold glass of whiskey in your hand and a fine rolled cigar on the left. You're there to get it done. You're there to be proficient and excel at what you're doing. I'd say maybe if you're a new player, maybe don't try to lean towards veterans so hard because their skill tree looks like that of the Primarch's family tree. Confusing in all the wrong ways. But I think if you want to throw on your best Rambo cosplay and go in guns blazing feeling like that old war hero that you want to be, veteran's perfect for you. The Psyker, Jimmy Neutron Brain Blast. You like a constant meter to keep track of the entire time while you're playing on top of other things because that's fun to you, and that's okay. You've chosen to be the wizard and you're going to be the wizard and no one's going to tell you not to, or you're going to blow their head up with your brain. But as you're playing Psyker, make sure to keep track of that little funny big bar. If that bar hits 100 and you go over it, well, Krakatoa. You will go down and your teammates will have to pick you up, and every time that's ever happened to me, because I'm not a big Psyker player, something about it just feels a little embarrassing. It's like you kind of like ripped your pants in like a lunchroom cafeteria or something. I say if you're a player that really does just want to simply wipe out hordes in front of you with your brain, then Psyker's perfect for you. Go ahead. Go get him, Gandalf. Zealot, Deus Vult, brother. Do you love your God Emperor? Do you love shouting a lot with a character that's never quiet for a single second throughout the entire mission? Do you want to feel like a nigh unkillable rampaging melee machine? Then the Zealot's perfect for you. The best relatable thing I could think of for a Zealot is if you liked playing Demo Knight from TF2, this is your class. For one of their main abilities is literally running in, screaming, and then critting whatever they hit. It's kind of a Giga Chad move. So if you like holding a personal grudge crusade against the hobo down the street, then Zealot's perfect for you. And last but not least of generalizing these classes, Ogryn, the biggest, sweetest, best boy. You see, as an Ogryn, your job is to protect the little ones. And by protecting the little ones helps everyone get through the mission easier. Ogryn is one of the classes that cannot be stunned when doing objectives. Ogryn is very good at knocking people over. And that is huge in Darktide in higher up tiers. Having enemies just be immobilized so they can't murder you before you murder them is a massive deal. Ogryn also gets a nuke and a rock. If you cannot tell by now, I'm an Ogryn main, and I love my sweet big baby boy. So if you want to be the big lovable brute, eat your rations, say hello to the commissar in the morning, and protect the little ones, Ogryn is your boy. But after all that, I really just say, pick the class that you think looks the coolest, to be real with you. You can play with any of the other ones later. You have like 6 character slots to choose from. So whichever one sounds the coolest or whichever one looks the coolest to you, just go with that. They're not too different, and every class right now is very flexible. If you want to play one way, you can find a way to play that way. But now we get into a more combat scenario sort of thing, and something I would really like to explain that a lot of new people don't understand that I see. And that's the toughness, health, and wounds mechanics of the game. You see, toughness is the funny blue bar. So as long as you have funny blue bar, your health won't get hurt, right? No. That's not how it works, because if you're missing a little bit or 1% of that funny blue bar, your health will take damage from only melee attacks. So if you get hit with a melee attack and you're missing some toughness, you'll still take damage, but a reduced percentage based on your toughness. Now that's different when it comes to range damage. If there is a ranged enemy, as long as you have toughness, they cannot deal damage to your health bar. But the reason why it's so important to take out ranged enemies is because gunners and the like will always be damaging your toughness. which allows melee units to hurt you easier. Now on to wounds. Wounds does not equal health. Wounds helps protect against corruption. Corruption is what happens when you go down or specified enemies deal corruption damage to you. Corruption is symbolized by the purple that goes onto your health bar. If a full wounds, that is the separate links of your health bar, gets turned completely purple, then you lose that tick of health. It's completely cut off. You cannot heal it unless you find a health stem or a Medicae station. Otherwise, you cannot get that health back. You see, if your health gets fully corrupted, you get KO'd, which means you go get captured and your teammates will have to come rescue you. So wounds, in a way, helps prevent that from happening. It allows you to go down more. I'd say if you're new to the game, taking a wounds is a very good way to learn. Now, once you're confident in your skill, I'd say remove that wounds charm and replace it with either a toughness charm or a health charm or a stamina charm, depending on what you're doing or what your build is like. So remember, purple equals die. Now I'm going to go over a general briefness of how to do basically combat. Just base combat mechanics, nothing extreme. A lot of the more complex stuff you'll learn over time by just simply playing the game. So let's start with melee combat. Melee combat during the higher grades or higher tiers can get a little wild. It takes a lot of focus, and it's almost like a way to control hordes rather than just outright killing them. So there's two very important things in combat: your stamina and your dodges. You see, depending on what melee weapon you're using, you have a set amount of dodge charges. Sadly, there's no way to really show how many dodge charges you have base game, but there are mods and things like that that will show how many dodges you have. I don't really think they're necessary. If you can count, you can keep track of your dodges. I think the whole dodge mechanic's quite simple. See an attack coming towards you, dodge. There is an indicator when an attack is directly coming at you. There is a brief sound that plays almost like a deep inhale being played. Very loud, it goes over all the music. And if you're having trouble hearing it, I'd say turn the music down, and so you can hear that effect a little bit better. And I'll play it for you here. That noise is sort of a wide indicator to get out of the way. Otherwise, you have to kind of use your eyes and just see who's swinging at you. I'd say in a horde scenario where there are maulers and crushers, be more precise with your dodging, because if you can't dodge out of the way of a crusher's smash, you're most likely going down. So don't make it a bad habit to continuously dodge, use all your dodge charges, and then you get murdered. Dodges come back over a set amount of time. But next up is stamina. Now, stamina involves a couple things. You're running, sprinting, blocking, which is the huge one. Blocking is extremely important in hordes and stuff like that. Just know that you can block behind you, but it requires more stamina. So if you can't really dodge out of the way of something, you can block something. Another thing some people don't understand is that running is not a dodge. The attack is proc to hit you. Without the dodge button or the iframes, you will still be hit. Running is not a dodge. I see a lot of people who are early on, they try to run away from a lot of things and get repetitively hit. That thing will hit you. Another very important thing to do while in melee combat is shoving or pushing. Very important for crowd control and horde situations. Some weapons have very good shove attack. Now, if you want to be more complex with the combat system, knowing your swing patterns of your weapon really helps. So very early on, learning what weapon you like and learning what swing pattern it has and what sort of swing patterns you should use against what enemies can help you get up there in ranks very fast. Knowing how to handle the crusher versus the mauler versus rampager is extremely useful. I say early on, it doesn't really matter. But later on, it becomes a little important to know how to handle who. So just practice until you're comfortable. And remember, hold on to your dodges so you don't become a human pancake. Now, when it comes to gun gameplay, there are a couple little things that go into gun gameplay. It's not exactly as technical as melee combat, but there are a couple little things to it that can help or make or break a fight. One of those big things is suppression. So suppression is a modifier that applies to you and also applies to enemies, usually gunners and things like that. If an enemy is shooting at you or around you, you are being suppressed. You will realize that your accuracy has been lessened and it makes it a little harder to hit them. Now, if you start shooting at them, or their Ogren shoots their naval cannon size shotgun towards the gunner, he's gonna get suppressed back. He's gonna start freaking out a little. So it goes both ways, and it will actually make gunners kind of miss their aim a little bit. Now, don't stand in front of gunners or anything like that. They'll shred you in a matter of seconds, but it's a way to kind of stop them from shooting for a little bit. It's a way to scare them. If you don't even outright kill them, I say that's fine as long as you get them to stop, because breathing room is very important in Darktide. Having moments where you can just kind of go crazy is very important. Let me explain some of those heretics you should use your ammo on. So now we're getting into the specials. And yeah, when you're just starting out, the specials don't seem like much of a problem. They seem actually very nullified. That's because their AI is on stupid mode. When you start reaching the higher tiers, they get faster, they get smarter, and they get stronger. But the most dangerous thing about the special units is that they're not really there to damage you, hearsay. They can, but that's not their main point. Their main point is to hinder you, to stop you from moving. So let's start with one of the most basics of basics, the Grenader. You see, the Grenader is quite a problem. He throws, well, this giant incendiary grenade, and this man can just chuck these things across the world sometimes. I don't know why. Across the entire map to land on you. And what they do is cause an AoE explosion that causes an incendiary on the ground. That is a big area of denial move from them. Now, in a lot of cases, it's not too bad, but when it leads to the group splitting up and breaking coherency and things like that, it can cause major issues. They don't seem bad at first, but when you're in the middle of a horde and suddenly you see a little blinking red grenade fall at your feet, you know you're in for a bad time. I would say that the Grenader is actually a more high priority target. Then there's the bomber variant, the Tox Bomber, who was actually added fairly recently. Now, the Tox Bomber, when he throws his grenade, causes a giant Marvel fart gas cloud, can actually ramp up damage really quick. And unlike the normal Grenader, you can't bunny hop out of this one, it's a gas. The difference between his, though, is that instead of like the normal bomber where the fire will actually hurt poxwalkers and stuff that walk into it, his will actually buff them. They get a buff because they're huffing Nurgle's farts, and they're just weird like that. So I would say actually sometimes the Tox Bomber is far worse than the regular bomber. Meaning if I had to choose one out of the two to shoot first, I'm gonna shoot the Tox one. But up next we have the Normal Flamer. The Normal Flamer is a guy with a flamethrower that tries to run at you forward for some reason, and then, well, does kind of the same area denial, but he sprays in more of a cone. You can actually dodge this attack. It might be a little tricky, but you can in fact dodge the attack once they start shooting. Be careful with the flamers. If you shoot them a bunch right now, their backpacks will start leaking, and if you shoot that backpack enough, they will explode, creating the same explosion radius and fire that the throwing bombers do. This can be used to an advantage, but can also cause problems in other scenarios. So you can actually use them to burn up some poxwalkers or something like that. The Normal Flamer is very aggressive, kind of just runs straight at you. You can tell when they spawn because there's a clicking noise like a stovetop being activated. And then there's the other variant, the Dreg Tox Flamer. It is literally the same thing, except this one's green. They do the same thing. If you shoot their backpacks, they both explode. It's the same enemy, they just look different. Next up, one of my favorite specialists, one of my favorite ones to fight is the Mutant, aka the Bull. What I love about new players is that a lot of them, for some reason, try to run away from the Mutant. He will catch you. He is like 5 times faster than a player character. He will get to you. But instead, you have to play the Bull Tamer, where as he comes running at you, depending on what weapon you have, you can just stand right in front of him and go, and just stab him right in the head and he'll die. Funny enough, if you are stuck in a horde, getting hit by a mutant might be the solution to getting out of it, because they will throw you out of a horde. Just have fun with them and poke their little head. Stab the poxhound, shoot the poxhound, throw a knife at the poxhound, throw a rock at the poxhound, destroy the poxhound. Now, the poxhound itself isn't necessarily that deadly, and there's several ways to deal with the poxhound. One, shoot it before it gets to you. That works. Two, when it lunges and makes that loud noise, just dodge. Also, what a lot of people don't know is you can just shove them. If they do their leap at you, shove them. Just go, no. The deal is that when a poxhound gets you, most like getting hit by a hunter from Left 4 Dead, where you get pinned and they start dealing mass damage to you. And the poxhound is actually one of those rare enemies that deals corruption damage to you more than anything else, which can make poxhounds actually kind of a problem sometimes. Once you learn how to deal with them though, they're very easy. Pox bursters. The early game's biggest weakness for some reason. These guys want to explode all over you with their stinky green goo. I'm going to teach you a little secret, all right? A little 400 hours of a game secret. If a poxburster is not near anybody, you can shoot it, blow him up before he gets near a single person. Boom, the problem's gone. But if the poxburster gets close to your friends, stop shooting the damn thing. When it blows up, it deals an incredible amount of damage. Now, you want to know the solution of dealing with this thing? If it gets close to you, shove it. That's it. Shove them. Tell them to go away. They're not hard to deal with. Even in the midst of a horde, you can shove them because it just goes through everything. A little thing, if you're very worried about this enemy, they deal pure corruption damage. It's like all of their damage is corruption damage. So take some corruption resistance on your Akuros or your charms, whatever you want to call them. Take some corruption resistance. It reduces the damage that a poxburster does by a ton. In a game where a bunch of demons are trying to corrupt you nonstop, taking corruption resistance isn't a bad thing. Next up, we have the scab sniper. You know when the scab sniper's around because they have a giant red laser telling you exactly where they're at, but they deal a lot of damage. Now, you can dodge ranged attacks. Follow the big red laser, pull out your gun, and just blast the guy. Problem solved. And last but not least, the most diabolical piece of garbage specialist in this entire game. I think a thing that makes everyone upset, and that's the scab trappers. The trapper, she runs up to you, she shoots you with a funny net. My thing is, if there is a trapper, I ignore every other enemy on the field. That thing is a problem. You're stuck. That means grenades can fall on you. Flamers will come and torch you. Crushers will come crush you. Maulers will maul you. It's a bad, bad place to be. Now, let's say you get hit by a net or your teammate gets hit by a net. If there are other enemies around your teammate, don't stand around and try to kill every little enemy around your teammate. Stop doing that. It's not like you're rezzing them. No, they're losing their health bar right now. They are in the process of being crumped. You don't want them to be crumped. You want them to be up. If they are down, the first thing you need to do is pick them up. There are moments where I'll ignore the trapper that is standing right there because she just shot her net. She has to run away to go to reload. Pick up your teammate. It's 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. In the team-based horde shooter, having a teammate is better. Fucking rocket science. There's one specific monster unit I have to cover for everyone's sake. You see that big green glowing thing that's laughing and crying at the same time and is a giant demon that flies? Stop. Just go around. Listen, the demon host, that thing. Did you look at the demon host? Bad. Did you shoot too close to the demon host? Bad. Did you shine your flashlight at the demon host? Bad. Stop pissing it off. And the deal is that with the demon host, you know exactly who pissed it off because it attacks that person first and devours their soul. And I don't even understand because you can't even like grief with it. That's the thing. It's not like a griefing tool. You can't just be like, I'm gonna summon the demon host on all my friends. No, because it just comes after you. And all anyone has to do is just watch and stare. I don't help people anymore if they piss off the demon host. I bust out a nice popcorn because I'm like, you brought this on yourself. Now, if it was on accident, yeah, I'll help. But when I watch them purposely shoot the demon host in the face 5 times and make it mad, I'm not helping you. You'd brought this on yourself because I'm not taking that 2% of corruption damage. That's it. Just don't make it mad. But there you go. And there you have it. Now you know a little bit more about Darktide or how to play it, and maybe if you were more skilled at the game, maybe you learned something new, maybe not. Otherwise, I hope you very much enjoyed the video, and if you are new to the game, welcome aboard the Morning Star.